So this is my anti-craving bag that I've been using because I was at my heaviest weight, struggling, being exhausted, and with stress eating that ruined my confidence. So I was just having a lot of cravings, attempting to lose weight. I stayed on track, but then I fell off. And inside of this bag, there are 5 things that I'm going to share with you in this video that helped me lose 60 pounds in 8 months and kept it off for 12 years. By you using these tips, you're going to lose all the weight that you want, reducing the cravings, and finally just love what you see in the mirror and picture being the most healthiest version of yourself. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also turn on the bell to get notified whenever I'm making a new video about weight loss advice every single week. I use these strategies to lose the 60 pounds in 8 months and kept it off for 12 years, and I've helped dozens of men and women just like yourself lose up to 60 pounds and finally escape the yo-yo dieting cycle. And if you're tired of constantly losing and gaining the same weight, I want to help you get to your healthiest self without giving up the foods that you love. So there are 3 stages when it comes to dealing with your cravings. The first phase is when you are at not giving in for your cravings yet, you are just feeling some cravings. And the second stage is when you are having so many cravings, you are just giving in. And the third phase is you just gave in for your cravings and you're feeling a lot of bloatedness, you're feeling awful, and you just feel you have a lot of bad conscience, and you don't want to get into that part because that's just going to derail you from trying to lose weight. So the first phase is definitely just making sure that you're doing a lot of strategies before you are getting into the peak of the cravings, because most people just talking about when you are at phase 2, but problem with that is phase 2 is just you having so many emotions that's boiling in. Imagine that you go to the supermarket and your cravings are at your highest. You're just taking whatever you want to eat, chocolate, ice cream, and I'm guilty of that. So I definitely don't want you to recognize that your cravings at your peak and you're trying to do something about it. So the first thing that you really want to make sure of when you are in the first phase of the cravings is that you are setting up your diet the right way. For example, I always recommend that you figure out your maintenance calories, you go into a macro calculator, figuring out how many calories you need to maintain your current weight. Then you adjust the macros where you are getting 40-45% of your daily calories coming from protein, because higher protein diet just automatically leads you to maintain your muscle but also reducing the cravings a lot. So when you are eating like 3 meals a day and you are getting like 30 grams of protein and you are spreading out the 45% of your daily calories coming from protein, you are getting protein sources like whey protein, chicken, lean chicken breast, ground beef, turkey, bulgur, whatever whole food resources of protein. It makes you feel very satiated, and also you're going to burn a lot more fat by having high protein diet. Reason is, among the 3 macros like protein, carbs, and fats, protein is the hardest to break down, but it also requires a lot more calories to burn. So that's why I also recommend that you want to have high protein diet. And the second thing that you're going to make sure of is you have setting up your carbs where you have 40% of your daily calories coming from carbs. And there are 2 different kinds of carb types. There are fast digestible carbs that could be like cookies, white bread, it could be white pasta, it could be cereal. Reason for that is you are eating the carbs and you are just digesting it very fast into your system. So you want to have a combination of both things. So if you are making sure that you have slow digestible carbs as well, that could be whole foods like broccoli, and it could be whole wheat pasta, whole wheat bread, it could be quinoa, bulgur. These are just some of the carb sources that is going to release the energy levels that you're getting from food very slowly, so you have not like a spike in your hunger. So you're dealing with all these cravings before they are hitting. And the reason why a lot of people are struggling with the cravings is because they're feeling very hungry. I'm seeing a lot of people struggling with their diet where they are just eating too many fast digestible carbs, where they're just feeling instant hunger. If you are mainly focusing on having slow digestible carbs, you are making sure that your energy levels and blood sugar is very stable throughout the day, so you don't, like for example in the afternoon it's just crashing, your sugar levels are crashing and you're having so many cravings. That's also why a lot of people are working at ambitious professional in a full-time job, they having so many cravings with eating a lot of shit like cakes and all sorts of other things when they are drinking their coffee. So you want to avoid that. And if you are someone at your heaviest weight and you feel like you are struggling with breathing when you're going upstairs and you not fitting the clothes that you want, you feeling not confident talking with clients and doing presentations, and also feeling breathless when you're going out for walks and you hate how you look in the mirror and pictures, you definitely want to make sure that you're following all the tips and watching the video whole through. And the third tip, you should definitely focusing on increasing your fibers. Reason why you want to increase in your fibers is because if you are having zero fibers in your diet, you are feeling hunger throughout the day. And I know that if you are trying to having a calorie deficit in place, you have to eat and sustain this calorie deficit through every single day of the week. So you are creating a calorie deficit to be able to lose like a 1 pound or 2 pounds. So if you are like in 300 or 500 calorie deficit a week, Monday to Saturday or Sunday, then you are creating 3,500 calorie deficit. And if you want to lose 2 pounds a week, you are just making sure that you are expending more energy, burning more calories by walking more or doing more cardio, and that automatically just adds up to 7,000 calorie deficit, and you will lose like 2 pounds a week. And if you are not getting a lot of fibers into your diet, it's very difficult to stay on track, because if you are feeling hungry all the time throughout your day, you are just eating way more than you should, and the calorie deficit that you create throughout the week is just being very small, so you're not losing a lot of weight. So you definitely want to amp up your fibers to 20 or 40 grams of fibers, and sometimes 30 is just being good, because if you are just like me using intermittent fasting where you are eating like 3 meals a day, you're for example fasting that the last meal before the day is like 9 p.m. and then you're going to sleep 10 p.m. then you're just sleeping till 7 p.m. or 7 a.m. then you wake up, drink a liter of water, then you just fast till 12 p.m. so you're already just putting in a lot of hours fasting, so you are not feeling so hungry. And I always feel like if you are doing this way of like dieting, you can eat 3 bigger meals, but you're getting a lot of the foods, so you probably don't need as many fibers, because it's difficult to eat if you are only eating slow digestible carbs. So you want to have a mix of both. So that's the third tip. And the fourth tip you want to make sure of before you're getting into how to dealing with the cravings at its peak, you should focusing on increasing your water intake. The reason why you want to increase your water intake from maybe you're not drinking any water, you want to drink 3 to 4, 5 liters of water. So let's imagine that you are in a calorie deficit and you are just eating less food that your body needs to maintain its weight. So the body sends a lot of signals to your body that is hungry. So we are not here on earth to lose weight. What we want to do is to survive, and it's very tricky to be dealing with the cravings, because if your body is saying that it's very hungry, you naturally just want to eat a lot of food. But what you want to do is fill up your stomach with water. So I always do this the first thing when I'm waking up. I'm drinking a liter of water, and then I'm throughout the day drinking more water. Even with my meals, I'm drinking like 500 milliliters, because that's just helping you fill your stomach with more food, and also having a lot of the veggies, because veggies is very low in calories, but it's filling your stomach up with, when you are combining with protein, you're combining it with water. That just makes it very easy for you not to focusing on struggling with the cravings. So, and I would just love to know, what is your biggest takeaway so far from the video? Just comment below and let me know. And there's also another thing you want to make sure when you are drinking water, is that you're drinking all the water before, most of 90% of your water before 4 p.m. because if you are keep drinking a lot of water throughout the evening, or you are going to struggle with losing with sleep because you are just waking up and going to the bathroom all the time, so that's going to fuck up your weight loss. So don't do that. And I think the last thing you should be aware of is also incorporating caffeine. So caffeine is very good because if you are drinking water, that's good to reduce the hunger cravings. But if you're also increasing your caffeine through drinking black coffee, you're also reducing the hunger cravings, like the hunger hormone that is normally signaling to your body that you are hungry. So I'm just drinking like black coffee like in the morning, and I'm drinking a black coffee like 12 or 3 in the afternoon, because that's going to help you feeling less hungry. And you can put a bit of skim milk in, but not so much. But these are definitely some of the things that I highly recommend you guys, that I used to lose the 60 pounds and kept it off for 12 years. So by using these tips, you're going to see a lot of changes in your way of trying to lose weight. And don't go to phase 2 where you're just giving in. I'm saying that is, you probably have some days where you are just giving in, but you have to learn from the things, so it's going to help you a lot. So just keep going, and I definitely look forward to see how things are going for you. If you're finally ready to lose the weight for good and become the most healthiest version of yourself, just like the transformation pages you've seen in the beginning of the video, there's a link in the description and also in the comment section where you can click that link and apply for coaching with me, and we'll see if you are fit to work with me, and we'll build a game plan for you.